A few days back, the oil price per barrel in USA was negative $37. That means to sell 1 barrel of oil, the seller has to pay the buyer $37. In this video, I'm going to give you a very oversimplified explanation as to why this has happened. Because of coronavirus pandemic, since the beginning of 2020, the demand for oil has been continuously declining. If the demand for any product is low, then the supply of that product should be reduced. However, the oil producing countries seems to have not paid any attention in the economics class during their school days. Or they are just stubborn. I'm going to go with the latter. So they just kept producing the oil in pretty much the same manner as they used to when the demand was higher. Eventually, it reached to a point where the supply of oil was so much that there wasn't enough space for storage. In the beginning, when I said that the price of oil was negative $37, I was actually referring to the price of the futures contract. Futures contract is a contract between a buyer and a seller to buy or sell a particular commodity at a specified price at a specified future date. In the case of oil futures contract, the commodity to be delivered is oil and the period is 1 month. So the price that went negative was the price of the oil futures contract to be delivered in May. Those contracts were about to be expired, so the sellers who were in a panic were rushing to sell them. But since the demand was extremely low and there was already an overflow of supply, there weren't any buyers. So the sellers had to pay the buyers to take the oil. To oversimplify, the negative prices is because of the excessive supply that resulted in storage issues. Now the question is, will this have any impact on the fuel prices in India? And the answer is yes, but not much. Usually when there is an increase in the international prices for oil, there will be a matching increase in the fuel prices in our country. But if there is a decrease in the international prices for oil, the fuel prices in our country will fall, but by a very, very small margin. Pretty much the only exception is during the time of elections. Just before the elections, there will be a noticeable decline in the prices of the fuel. And immediately once the elections are over, there will be an increase in the prices, and that will be regardless of the international market conditions. Since the beginning of 2020 until March ending, the international prices for oil have declined by over 60%. But the fuel prices in our country during the same period have only declined by around 10%. And the same trend will probably continue in the foreseeable future.